Okay, so if you haven't seen the first walkthrough of the EFT cards, see the info box for the link. If you already have the deck and know what cards are in it, this will show you kind of how to use them. So I separated some of the cards from the deck so that I could show you kind of how I work with them. I do a process called layering. So and I also use a notebook when I layer, so that I could write things down. So for example, a lot of these issues, these cards, I love myself. Well, actually, take that one out. But like space clearing, chords, creator can heal you, EFT can work for you, resistance, fear of change, heal the cause. I'll put that one aside too. I know what it feels like. I can receive love and healing. Need for attention, not feeling forgiven by others, sadness, anger, fear of failure, fear of success, fear and trauma, especially trauma, overwhelm and energy toxins, and contracts, because we explain the chakras, and lessons in karma and grounding. So all of these I treat as a main issue. So even if they're under another issue, like let's go back to what kind of healing issue can we start with? Let's take like anxiety. So let's say that lessons in karma come up under the anxiety. It just means there's something you're not letting go of it because you believe you need to learn from it. Now, sorry, I'm using a camera where I'm kind of like having to guess where the center is. So what I would do is I would start working on this issue, and then I would draw more blocks. So to what's clearing it. Like say I have deprived. So even though I don't feel deprived, if I heal the lessons in karma under this issue, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. And let's say the next card is I don't feel forgiven by others, and that's part of my karma. So I would treat this as another main block. So, and then I would clear blocks to clearing this. So again, this is where having a notebook comes in hand to kind of write it all out. So I would write the lessons in karma, and then I would kind of put an indent and forgiven by others, and then put another indent, and let's say it's not safe to be forgiven by others, not safe for others. And so I clear all the blocks till I either get main issue or a blocks or clear card, which there's more than one in the deck so that you can pull them. And then what I would do is consider the not feeling forgiven by others clear. And so I would take that off. So that goes off to the side. So that issue's clear, and then I finish, let's say, I forgive others, so that one just popped out. So then I do the same thing with I forgive others until I get the blocks are clear or the main issue, and then I would take that one off. Now let's say we get something called like healing the cause. Healing the cause I treat two different ways. So usually I will look for an emotion. So, and that's where I use this deck. So say what's under the cause is the lessons in karma. Okay. Feelings of hopelessness. Let's say it's feelings of hopelessness. Then I could use like emotion code or whatever to clear that. And again, this deck also has reverses. So oh my gosh, I can't quite figure out how to center it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it has, and say, you don't need to know, so, or you have it's connected with mother, but I'll go through that later. But say you picked first 10 years, there's a card that's, or last 10 years. So then you would use emotion code or whatever you want to do, or a pendulum. I use a pendulum. So where's the pendulum I can show? So I got my pendulum here. And what you can do is take a pendulum and spin it the reverse way. And this is a way that I clear emotions, or if you don't know emotion code. I tend to use this way more than emotion code anyways. So what I do is I say kind of like thank you for clearing. You're asking your high self, your higher body intelligence, or whatever you want to ask, to clear the hopelessness from the last 10 years from your energy field. And I let it spin in a counterclockwise position until, it's hard to get the whole pendulum, but because my thing's too low, but until it's kind of giving me a nod. So it gives me an up and down. So, and that's when I know it's clear. So, and then what I'll usually do is I'll clear about 3 emotions, and then I'll clear on the direct issue. So again, you go back to your blocks deck, and I have what it takes to make life work if I hear the cause of this issue. And you'd be surprised how good this works, because by the time you get back to clearing everything right back to the source, if someone has an acute issue like a headache, right when you hit that blocks or clear card, it's usually, oh, I feel my headache is gone. So, so that's kind of like, it takes you through a process, and the cards will take you through a process of clearing all the blocks, clearing all the causes. And then once you get back to, like, let's say, okay, so we've cleared the cause, we get the blocks are clear, and we cleared the cause, so put that off to the side. And then we get the main issue on the lessons in karma, and so we tap that, and so that's out of the way. And then we get, say, one more block, and then we get, again, blocks are clear. Where are my blocks are clear card? There they are. Get blocks are clear. Then usually by this point the person, has felt something shift, and they're like, oh, my headache's gone, or else it's moved somewhere else, and then you can tackle that area. But it tends to kind of take you through a process so that you're releasing everything. So so there's one other block, and it's energy toxins. So a lot of those earlier cards that I showed you, those are really good for clearing more deeply with. I mean, you don't have to, and you can see how your progress goes, but generally I like to clear them more deeply, especially ones like anger, fear of success, trauma, and then here's the energy toxins one. So energy toxins, I treat it kind of like the cause, except it's not really a cause. You're kind of, energy toxins are usually toxic emotions that are usually in your energy field. And again, you can go to emofree.com and look up exactly what they are. But yeah, I would just treat the same thing as I do the cause. And I would find emotions that are acting, like ask for emotions that are acting as an energy toxin, such as irritation. Irritation is a good energy toxin. And then again, you can use your pendulum to kind of clear those emotions. But yeah, so that's generally, and then again, I will clear energy toxins more deeply too. So I am ready to clear all energy toxins. I'll permanently clear all energy toxins, and then I'll do it till I get the blocks or clear card. So now you're starting to see why there's more than one blocks or clear card, because there's a lot of layering, and you want to have an opportunity to pick these cards more than once, because you are doing layering and you are clearing things until you draw certain cards. So now I'm going to go into the emotions deck, so, and show you a different approach you can use, is which you can start. Okay, I'll just go through some of the cards. They are divided into categories, and because it's based on kind of like the meridian system, so you can even use them for their, what meridian do you need to what meridian do you need to kind of work with or clear, or whatever of that nature. And so you got irritation, terror, and there's an upright and a reversed. So again, you can ask what to deal with. So say you want to clear a negative, so you'll focus on the first word. If you want to instill a positive though, you can draw a card focusing on the second word. So like belief in miracles. So, so that's how that would work. So, and you can do whatever you want, and you can remove a negative and ask to instill something positive. Usually instilling, you do the positive, the clockwise, and for removing, you do a negative. So that's, there's different anxiety. You got different meridians, and So, in lots of different states, lack of foresight, guilt, feelings of futility. So, and you can take out the negative and put in the positive. So, now we're going to go to the card backs, because, and I put some aside here. So you could have fear of change, and you need to clear it from last half of life. This is for those who, you can either use muscle testing with this, or you can not use muscle testing. So with emotion code and with EFT, you generally use a process called muscle testing, where you use your muscles to kind of test whether something is strong or weak. And you can find lots of videos for how to do muscle testing. But you can either just clear it from your last half of life, or you can go deeper to kind of, okay, what year? Is it between 30 and 40? Is it in muscle tests? Is it between 30 and 40? 40 and 50, 20 and 30, or, and then you root it down to the exact year. And then you can clear it on that level. Now, you can clear it with a pendulum, or you can clear it as a main issue using EFT. So, and you don't even really need this card if you want to pick an issue to clear with EFT. Like, say I want to do hopelessness again. So then I would say, what's blocking me from being clear of feelings of hopelessness? And I get main issue, so I would just have to tap the main issue on that. But say you got willingness. I'm not willing to be free of this trapped emotion of hopelessness. I deeply, profoundly love and accept myself. So, so that's kind of the two different ways you can kind of clear emotions. So I'm going to go over the card backs again, just to explain what they are. So sponged generally means you took the emotion from someone else. So this can happen in various ways. It could be you're around a person and you picked it up, or it could be something projected onto you. For example, unworthiness. Here's a good one. Unworthiness, being sponged. So imagine you're a little kid and your parents keep telling you over and over and over again, you're unworthy. You take that on, and that's a way that projections of others can be taken on into your own belief systems, and so you're clearing it at that level. Or say you're around someone who's feeling unworthy and you start feeling unworthy or picking up on their emotions. That's another level of clearing an energy that's sponged. It's just an emotion that isn't originally yours, that somehow got trapped in your energy field. Past life just means that, it's probably from a past life. So if you're doing memory work, you might not be able to fully remember the past life, but you can still clear on it anyways using the EFT deck or your pendulum to clear anything relevant. Or you can go deeper with the cards to figure out what's under the past life. If you don't believe in past lives, just consider it your past identity in this life, or a form of past life in your current life. And then preconception is something similar. It's an idea from the emotion code, which it's not necessarily a past life, but it's from before incarnating on some level. So, before you incarnated, you brought this energy with you, whether you were incarnated or whether you weren't incarnated. So that's what preconception means. Womb, self-explanatory. You took on the emotion probably from your mother in the womb, maybe feeling her emotions in the womb, or from whatever you're experiencing. Don't need to know means you don't really need to know when it happened. Collective means you took it on from a group of people or culture. Or let's pretend that there's lots of riots going on, or anger, or people are really upset about something in the general political or emotional or collective climate in some sort of way, and you start feeling angry because you're taking some of this energy on. Another way you can take on collective is through kind of group culture or group thinking, such as say you live, a religious shame or something you're taking on from a group. So that's what collective means. First half of life. This year, mother or woman, this can be used several ways. So it could either mean let's take this. So let's pretend we drew blame with mother woman. So so you may feel blame in connection with your mother and through blaming your mother, or you may have taken on some of her blame. So, or you may have inherited. So that, and again, if you know muscle testing, you can muscle test which one it is. But so there's different levels. Sometimes you don't need to know, and you just ask for whatever this emotion to be cleared. To be cleared, it's either inherited from your mother, taken on from her, or something you feel in connection with her, like from a memory. So you just think of a memory in connection to your mother where you blamed her for something, or you felt blame. And then again, father's the same, except it's for a man. Last half of life. Last 10 years. Teens. So something happened in your teens. First 10 years. And inherited. Inherited just means it kind of came through in your biology. So you brought it in with you through your genetic code passed down from your parents. With emotion code, you will often test which side of your family you took it on from. But you don't always need to know. You can just, or you can ask if you need to know. And so that's how these reverse side of the cards work. So so again, I like to combine the cards together. When the memories card comes up with the EFT deck, you clear memories instead of just emotions. So again, some of these are states too. So instead of clearing the emotion of stubbornness, you would clear a memory where you felt stubborn. And there's lots of YouTubes and other things out there for how to use EFT and stuff to clear memories in particular. You do it a little different than just clearing an emotion with a pendulum. You would go back into the actual memory, visualize it, and then use EFT to kind of go through it until you get your SUDS level down to 0. Now, SUDS level is a term with EFT where you come up with the strength of an issue. For example, stubbornness. Do you feel that when you tune into the memory, do you feel that emotion as a 10, as a 6, as a 3? And so if you felt it as a 3, that would be your SUDS level, and then you would clear it till you get it down to 0. What I find, and one reason I created these decks, because you actually should use SUDS level for EFT on this side, is that a lot of people, especially if they're empathic or sensitive in some sort of way, it's really hard for them to connect with a SUDS level. And that's one reason I created the blocks are clear card, and the idea of just clearing everything down to a level where your guides or your higher intelligence is showing you something is clear. And you can also go to the website and empoweryourhealerwithin.com, and there's apps there where you can use the cards before purchase. So yeah, and again, there's downloadable manuals at the site also which explain how to use the cards. There's a longer version one, and then there's a shorter version one. So I hope you enjoyed the video.